Hi everyone, welcome to Numeric Learning, and today is day 45 of the Do Math With Me series. Today we will be solving questions from the 9th chapter of class 10th, which is Some Applications of Trigonometry. Let's get started. So the very first question is, a tower stands vertically on the ground. From a point on the ground which is 15 meter away from the foot of the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is found to be 60 degree. Find the height of the tower. In this particular chapter, which is Applications of Trigonometry, you have to understand the question, and whatever is given in the question, you will have to draw it as a figure, a very clear figure with all the details of measurements or the lengths, every single value that is mentioned in the question. Okay, you'll have to just draw the figure very clearly. So that's the first part. So let's do it. Here the first thing is, let's go line by line. A tower stands vertically on the ground. So let me draw a tower. Okay, so this is the tower, for example. From a point on the ground, so let this be a point on the ground. Okay, so from a point on the ground which is 15 meters, so this is the first line which I drew was a tower. Okay, a tower stands vertically on the ground. Okay, so this is the tower, right? Okay, now from a point on the ground which is 15 meters away from the foot of the tower. So what is the distance here? 15 meters. Okay, from a point on the ground which is 15 meters away from the foot of the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower. So this is the top of the tower. Okay, always whenever you are drawing the angle of elevation, it is always with respect to the horizontal. So now let's join these 2 points. Okay, so this is the angle of elevation which is given. It is 60 degree. Find the height of the tower. You have to find the height of this particular tower. So let it be capital H. Now let's label this. So everything that was given in the question, we have drawn it as a diagram, right? A tower stands vertically on the ground. This is the tower. From a point on the ground which is 15 meters away from the foot of the tower, the angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 60 degree. Find the height. So everything is something which we have completed, right? Now let us just label these points. So A, B and C. So it's right angled at B, for example. Now let us mark the perpendicular base and hypotenuse. The side which is right in front of your 90 degree, this is your hypotenuse. This angle is your reference angle. The side which is right in front of your reference angle is your perpendicular. So this happens to be a perpendicular, and the last one is your base. What do you need now? What do you have to find? You have to find the height of the tower. The height of the tower is the perpendicular, right? What are you given? You are given the base, right? You have to find the perpendicular, you have to find the base, and you are given theta angle. What is that trigonometric ratio which relates P and B? It is tan. Okay, so now let us do it. In triangle ABC, you have to take tan of 60 degree. Okay, tan 60 is nothing but we know tan is equal to P by B. What is your perpendicular? AB is your perpendicular, which we have to find, and BC is your base, right? Tan 60, it is root 3. You should know all the trigonometric values of the angles in this particular chapter. What is the length of AB? We don't know. It is just capital H. Divided by what is BC? It is 15. Just cross multiply. So what is the height of the tower? 15 root 3 meters. You are asked to take root 3 as 1.732. So let's use that. So it's nothing but 15 multiplied by 1.732 meters. Okay, so let's multiply 173 multiplied by 15. 8371. So 5, 9. Okay, so you 25.95 is what I'm getting. 25.95 meter is the H, which is nothing but the height of the tower. That's all is the question about. So if this question is a 2-mark question, you should be able to get full 2 marks. Okay. Let's move on to the second question. Yeah, this is also a very similar question. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower from a point on the ground which is 30 meter away from the foot of the tower is 30 degree. Find the height of the tower. It's an NCERT question. Let's draw it. So the angle of elevation of the top. So let's draw the tower. So just an example, if let this be the tower and let this be the point on the ground. Okay, just some point C. So what are you given? The angle of elevation. So this is the angle of elevation. Okay, this is your ground. Okay, this h is, we have to find the height of the tower. So let this be the h is the unknown. So this is your tower. So the angle of elevation of the top of the tower from a point on the ground which is 30 meters away. 30 meters away from the foot of the tower is 30 degree, right? 30 degree is the angle. Find the height of the tower. Again, let us just mark these points. And 90 degree opposite is your hypotenuse, theta angle opposite is your perpendicular, and this is your base. Okay, now what you have to do the same thing in triangle ABC. You are asked to find P perpendicular, which is the height of the tower. You are given base. So again, P and B is related to tan, isn't it? So tan of 30 is equal to P by B. P is nothing but AB divided by base is nothing but your BC. Tan 30 is nothing but 1 by root 3 is equal to AB is nothing but the height of the tower, which is H. BC is nothing but 30. Okay, so you will, what do you get? Cross multiply. So root 3 multiplied by H is equal to 30. So H is equal to 30 by root 3. You can rationalize the denominator by multiplying numerator and denominator by root 3. So what do you get? 30 root 3 is the numerator divided by root 3 into root 3 is 3. Okay, so 3 tens are 30. So what is the answer? It is 10 root 3. This is your height. What is your height? H is nothing but the height of the tower. Height of the tower. Okay, this is your final answer, 10 root 3. You are not asked to take root 3 as something, so you can just leave your answer like this. But the unit is important. It is meters. Okay, and there goes your answer, 10 root 3 meters. I hope it's clear. Let's do the next question. Yeah. A kite is flying at a height of 60 meter above the ground. The string attached to the kite is temporarily tied to a point on the ground. The inclination of the string with the ground is 60 degree. Find the length of the string assuming there is no stack in the string. Okay, now a kite is flying at a height of, suppose this is your kite. Okay, it is flying at a height of 60 meters. So the height from the ground is 60 meters. Okay, so this is the height at which the kite is flying. The string attached to the kite is temporarily tied to a point. Okay, so let this be the point to which your kite is tied. Okay, this is your string. Okay, and the inclination of the string with the ground is 60 degree. Find the length of the string. This length is asked, length of the string, assuming there is no stack in the string. That means there are no irregularities in the string. Okay, so let's just mark it as P, Q, R. There's nothing else mentioned here. So just let's go ahead and write our hypotenuse. This is our perpendicular and this is our base. Now here, you are given the perpendicular. You are asked to find the hypotenuse. So P and H. Which trigonometric ratio is related to P and H? It is sine Okay, sine of the angle. Sine is related, sine equal to sine theta equal to P by H. So let's write in triangle PQR, what is your theta? It is 60. So sine 60 is nothing but we know it is P by H. What is PQ? Divided by what is your H, the length of the string, which is PR. Okay, what is sine 60? Root 3 by 2 is equal to what is PQ 60 divided by PR is nothing but the length of the string that you have to find. Cross multiply. So root 3 multiplied by L is equal to 2 into 160 is 120. So L is equal to 120 divided by root 3. Again, if you want, you can rationalize. So this is nothing but 120 root 3 divided by 3. Okay, so 3 4s are 12. So what do you get? 40 root 3 meter. This is the length of the string. Length of the string. Okay. That is all. You have to find the length of the string assuming there is no star. So the final answer is 40 root 3 meters. Okay. So always remember, whenever you are given questions related to applications of trigonometry, make sure you draw the diagrams very, very clearly. Let's do the next question. Yeah. An observer 1.5 meter tall is 28.5 meter away from a tower. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower from her eyes is 45 degree. What is the height of the tower? Again, let's draw the figure. So let us draw. This is your tower. And this is the 1.5 meter observer. Okay, so let me write it. So this is your tower. Okay, and this is the observer of height 1.5 meter. An observer 1.5 meter tall is 28.5 meters away from the tower. So what is the distance? 28.5 meters. Okay, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower from her eyes is 45 degrees. So from her eyes, she is looking up to the top of the tower. Right? Let me just draw it in one single point. Yeah. Okay. So now this is your angle of elevation. So our angle of elevation will always be with respect to the horizontal. So just draw an imaginary horizontal. This angle of elevation is nothing but 45 degree. Right? Again, here also the distance is going to be the same, 28.5 meters. This distance is also, so if suppose we can just mark the tower as PQR and the observer as SNT, PQRST, right? Observer is of height 1.5 meters. You have to find the total height of the tower. Okay. So what is QR? QR will also be 1.5 meters. Then what will be PQ? PQ will be H minus 1.5 meters. Right? So we have written everything, drawn everything. Okay. So observer, the angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 45 degree. That's all is given. And how far is the observer from the tower? 28.5 meters. So we have drawn everything, every detail that is mentioned in the question. Right? What is asked now? You have to find the height of the tower. Okay. So what can we do? What is the right angle triangle that you see here? TPQ is a right angle triangle. Right. So you know what is this? So here, this is your perpendicular. This is your hypotenuse. This is your base. Okay. You have to find a part of your perpendicular, your given base. So P and B is related with tan. Okay. So let me take tan of it. So in triangle TQP, what can I take? Tan 45 degree is equal to P by B. What is P? H minus 1.5. Divided, what is your base? See, look at this triangle. What is your base? 28.5. Okay, what is tan 45? It is 1. So 1 is equal to h minus 1.5 divided by 28.5. Cross multiply. What do you get? H minus 1.5 equal to 28.5, and h is equal to 28.5 plus 1.5. So when you add 0, 1, 8, 9, 10, so you will get 30 meters. That is the height of the tower. So just only one trigonometric ratio you have to apply, and in only one of the right angle triangle. That's all. So this question is pretty easy, very, very easy. I hope you understood. Okay, let's move on to the fifth question. The angle of depression of a car, that what do you mean by angle of depression? Somebody standing on the top and looking down. Okay, so angle of depression of a car standing on the ground from the top of a 75-meter high tower is 30 degrees. So let's draw it. So this is the tower. Okay, what is the height of the tower? It is 75 meters. 75 meters. Okay, the angle of depression from the top of the tower, the angle of depression of a car. So say, let this be the car. Okay, the angle of depression of the car standing on the ground from the top of a 75-meter tower is 30 degree. So how will you mark it? So let this be your horizontal. Okay, this angle of depression is 30 degree. You have to find the distance of the car from the base of the tower. Okay, so you have to find this distance. This x is what you have to find. If this is 60, if this is 30 degree, okay, using the alternate interior angle property, this angle will also be 30 degree. Okay, so this is your right angle triangle. Let's mark it as ABC. Okay, so this is your perpendicular, this is your hypotenuse, and this is your base. Now, what is given and what is asked? You are given perpendicular, you are asked base. So, you will apply tan. Okay, so in triangle ABC, tan of 30 degree is equal to, we know it is P by B. What is PAB? What is your base BC? Okay, tan 30 is nothing but 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is equal to, what is AB? 75. What is your BC? It's x. Just cross multiply. You will get x is equal to 75 root 3 meters. What is x? X is nothing but the distance between, x is nothing but the distance between the car and the base of the tower. The distance between the car and the base of the tower in meters. So you can just write it. Therefore, the distance between the car and the tower, okay, is nothing but 75 root 3 meter. The unit is very important. Right? Okay. Now, let's move on to the last question of the day. From a point on the ground 40 meter away from the foot of a tower, again. So, it's the same. Let's draw the tower. Okay. From a point on the ground which is 40 meters away. So, this is 40 meters away. From a point on the ground 40 meters away from the foot of the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 30 degree. Let's draw the angle of elevation. The angle of elevation, where am I? I just got lost. Yeah, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 30 degrees. So this is 30 degree. The angle of elevation of the top of a water tank. Okay, let's read it again. So from a point on the ground 40 meters away from the foot of the tower, okay, this is your tower. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 30 degree. The angle of elevation of the top of the water tank on the top of a tower. So what are you given? You have a water tank here. Okay, you have a water tank here. Okay, on the top of the tower. So this is your tower, right? The angle of elevation of the top of a water tank which is on the top of the tower is 45 degree. So now let's draw The angle of elevation to the top of the water tank. This is 45 degree. This bigger angle is 45 degree. Okay. -45 degree. Find the height of the tower. So this is the height that you have to calculate. You have to find the height of the tower. Okay, let this be h. So let's mark it. The water tank is AB. The tower height is BC, and the observer is say D at a point D. Right? Now, what is the first right angle triangle? So this is the bigger angle. Okay, the smaller angle is in BDC, the bigger angle is in ADC. Okay, so first in the triangle BDC, let's mark our. So if you are having theta, this is your perpendicular, this is your base, this is your right angle. So this happens to be a hypotenuse. Here also it's your hypotenuse. Okay. Now in your triangle BDC, it's tan 30. Okay. So tan 30 is P by B. Tan 30 degree is nothing but P by B. What is your perpendicular? That is the height of the tower. It's the height of the tower. Correct? Or we can just label it as BC. Divided by what is B? Base is nothing but 40. What is tan 30? 1 by root 3. Okay? Is equal to h divided by 40. So what will be your h? Root 3. When you cross multiply, root 3 into h is equal to 40. Or you can say h is equal to 40 divided by root 3. Okay? Multiply numerator and denominator by root 3. So what do you get? 40 root 3 by 3. This is the h. Correct? So height of the tower. So therefore you have got the height of the tower. So you can write the first answer. Therefore the height of the tower, which is BC in our diagram, is nothing but 40 root 3 divided by 3 meters. What else are you asked? Find the depth of the tank. Okay, that means the AB is also asked. So let's take the bigger triangle ADC. So in triangle ADC, you have to do the same thing. Tan 45, right? Tan 45 is equal to AC by DC. Okay, so we can just write tan 45 is equal to perpendicular. Perpendicular is AC by DC. AC by DC, right? So what is DC? DC is 40. Okay, so tan 45 is 1 is equal to AC by 40. DC is 4. So therefore, what do you get? AC equal to 40 meters. Okay, so total AC is 40. You have to find out only AB, right? AC is 40. We have already calculated BC. What is AB? So AB will be equal to AC minus BC. Let's write it. AB. So therefore, the depth of the water tank AB is equal to AC minus BC. What is AC? 40. Minus what is your BC? 40 root 3 by 3. Take 40 common out. Okay. So you will have 1 minus, or else you can just take the LCM also. Okay. 40 you can take out common. So 1 minus root 3 by 3. This is what you're left with, or you can take the LCM inside. So 3 minus root 3 divided by 3. You can just leave it like this, meters. So that is the depth of the water tank. You can just leave it like that, or you can substitute 1.73 in place of root 3 in case if it's given in the question. Otherwise, you can just leave it like that. So that is the depth of the tank here. Okay. So what we calculated was this, AB. I hope you understood. So the height of the tower is 40 root 3 by 3. This is the height of the tower and also the depth of the water tank, AB. Okay, so this is how you have to do such questions. It's more important that you are able to practice. You have to practice a lot of questions from applications of trigonometry by reading the question and drawing the diagram. And from the diagram, take out your right angle triangle, and you have to know which ratio to take, which trigonometric ratio can you apply. Is it sine or cos or tan? Okay, depending on what is given and what is asked. So I think you learned and you practiced along. See you all in the next video, and please do share it with your friends. If you haven't, do subscribe. Thank you.